Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories. Today we're going to be talking about what your first session ever was like. And if you'd like to share, please do so in the comments below or use our subreddit r/MrRipper. The party spent about 15 minutes searching for the entrance to a dungeon. They found it when the rogue fell down the stairs and thumped all the way down to the bottom. Bum bum brrrr. They ended up in a room with thigh-high fog. Ooh, everybody loves thigh-highs. Everyone caught up, healed the rogue, and started looking around. And immediately, two different characters fell into separate pits, and a single spider-like creature started jabbing them with spears when they tried to climb out. One of them almost died. Then, they killed the spider thing? They got the characters out of the hole, healed them, and then rested in that room because now they were out of spells. And then lunch period ended and we had to go to class. Wait, this all took place over lunch? There's no way all this took place over lunch. It had to be a little bit longer than that. Awful! I couldn't even get past the character creation part. The DM and the party members tried to help me, but I still couldn't get the hang of it. I felt too embarrassed and simply gave my thanks and left the session. Aw, character creation's really not that hard. I hope you got it figured out. Wasn't D&D. But my first TTRPG, The Dark Eye. I played a half-elf scoundrel, pre-built, who went with a group to investigate the sewer for bandits. My character didn't dodge or grapple and got caught and pulled into a camp while the rest tried to open the gate to enter. All elves are beautiful in that particular system and world, so my character was stripped and, well, molested. Not fun, but the other players threw a lit oil lamp into the camp and it spread like wildfire. I had more fun later with D&D groups as a DM, but all my players are agents of chaos. Taking over narcotics empires in a school, being the one to give me the most cause for concern. Yeah, this whole story feels a little bit icky, so everyone please be safe out there. It's hard to remember all the details because it was back in '96. Wait a minute, what? I came into a campaign already underway. I played a town's guard NPC who would provide inside info to the adventuring party regarding a corrupt government and a coup that was planned. Turns out, the adventuring party was behind the coup, and when the time came, the town guard played a role in helping to make sure it happened. As a result, he chose to leave his position in the guard and joined the adventuring party for a new life of exploring. The pre-made character I was playing as was given the heebie-jeebies by a pile of dead horses. Yeah, that freaked me out too. It went awesome. Started in a tavern, but not with the archetypical, you meet at the same table in the tavern. It was more like a murder mystery. My character was the last to arrive, Wizard, and when he ordered a stew, the waitress, who was also the owner of the place, took a very long time. Our characters decided to investigate, found her corpse in the kitchen, and then we got jumped by some undead creatures that stole a necklace from her, which later on turned out to be a very powerful magic item. I can't remember much, but I remember while standing together with the rest of my party in a small corridor, there was a guy on the other side of a door we wanted to talk with, but he didn't want to open the door. So I threatened him, saying I would blast the door open if he didn't let us in. Well, he didn't budge. My party looked at me and asked, "Come on, what do you have to blast open the door with?" I was like, "Well, I don't know, let me check," and said something along the lines of, "I have this spell called Fireball," and a resounding unanimous no came from the rest of the party. They were all experienced players. That was when I found out what it means to deal area of effect damage. The barbarian kicked the door in afterwards. Yeah, Fireball in a very contained area that's small. Yeah, it's gonna go great. Mainly my noob bum asking, "Can I do this?" Since we restarted a month or so back, new DM, new players, a lot of, "Can I do this?" And the rogue being uncomfortable about roleplay. Just wanting to go back to the tavern to sleep until we set off. It was 3 p.m. in-game. I had to walk the rest of the party through asking NPCs what info they could give. First fight. Rogue, not acting as a rogue, almost got downed in the first battle. He decided to fight in the front line next to the paladin and kept getting hit. As a duelist, this might have been good. He could have used his bow, but he wants to show how tough his character is. Oh. You have an AC of 13, my chap. Even my warlock has higher than that. Wait, really? He's gotten better, is still learning, but better. He admitted he made a mistake in ignoring that dex is important for rogues. What did he think the rogue was? I need more info on this one. 2.5 hours of character building. Sharing one player's handbook between 3 new players. Ah, good times. That sounds like fun. This is the session that actually got me obsessed with D&D. It was back in 3.5. My DM let me create a satyr druid. It was a monstrous party consisting of a warforged sorcerer, a minotaur barbarian, and a pixie warlock. We went through character creation and met on the road. Had some fun with create or destroy water to wake up the barbarian because he was snoozing on the side of the road for some reason. Cleared out a cave of some goblins, and at the time, I had been reading the Percy Jackson series, so I was playing the satyr in a very tree-hugger, nature-loving way. So when the DM asked who was sleeping in the cave, I offhand commented that I would just sleep outside under the stars. When I tell you the look on his face was priceless and evil, that itself is an understatement. He said, "Okay, you just go to sleep outside," and everybody else went in the cave with the warforged sorcerer keeping watch since he didn't need to sleep. The DM asked me to roll perception. Nat 1. He asked what my AC was. I think it, at the time, was a 12 because I was asleep and not wearing my armor. My character was drained to 0 HP by a vampire. Afterwards, the vampire snuck into the cave and was one-shot by the warforged. When I wake up, I'm now a vampire, but I have no idea anything has changed. So I was given all my new abilities, but had no idea that I had them until we met the Archangel Paladin 2 days later, who was the only one that rolled well enough on his religion check to see what I was. Sadly, that campaign ended with a bit of a whimper, but it gave me the itch for D&D. We ended up getting into a bar fight and accidentally killed a guy. I, being a roger, tried to rob the guy's corpse, to which the paladin took great issue with and decided to throw the corpse at me. Wait, that's defiling a corpse, paladin boy! I rolled my first ever nat 20 to dodge it, and the body exploded into bloody chunks against the wall. How hard did this guy frickin' throw it? I affectionately call the event Corpse Dodgeball. If you can dodge a corpse, you can dodge a ball. This wasn't D&D, as my first TTRPG was Pathfinder. Yes! GM had us do the stereotypical tavern opening, where we really went overboard with our shenanigans. In the end, my character destroyed a table because I rolled a nat 20 in an arm wrestling match. We knocked out the quest giver and took his treasure map, stabbed him in the neck, and then set the tavern on fire. Oh, it was fun! My PC met with the other PCs, each with a specific reason. In a city, under siege after a terrorist bombing. That's not good. The terrorist bomb in question had a mix of chemical and magical components that infected the ones caught by its blast. Anyone infected receives magical healing as damage, and anyone who succumbed to injury turned into mobile and aggressive zombies. When my PC met with the others and introduced one another, we fled to safety of a chapel until we all let our guard down, which was scripted, to a trap where all of us PCs and one NPC were used for a ritual of undeath. All of us died to that ritual and now roam as Dark Souls-inspired undead, where when we die, we respawn at the location of a specific object that we can carry. The catch is that we take a very long time to respawn, which means we can fail so many quests very easily. And yes, our DM has no shame in trying to make us fight enemies that are higher than our recommended AC. Mine was a Pathfinder society game. A guy at the game store told me about it a week before the next meet, and helped me make a character leading up to it. I walked in with a Tiefling barbarian and spent the session making amazing rolls. I swear, I crit like 3 times and was a problem for the GM during combat. In a good way. I played him like an interceptor instead of a tank and had a blast. I'll never forget how the GM described me nearly max damaging a crit and one-shotting a guard as, "You take your great axe and turn him into goulash." Yeah! After that, I was hooked. Same with that guard. It was very short. Everyone, including the DM, was new to the game. Everyone made their characters and we all started on this island at night. And were immediately ambushed by zombies. The first combat of the game ended in a TPK. That's a pretty bad way to start a game. We were playing Lost Mines of Phandelver, and because of confusion about rules, the strength-based human fighter and dwarf cleric kept missing against goblins in their first combat encounter. Meanwhile, the halfling rogue sliced through one anime style with a nat 20. First ever session. We end up in a tavern, go figure, and arm wrestle some dudes, kind of like the story before this one, before seeing on a bounty board that the mayor wants us to help him find stuff out about aliens invading the world. What? Instead, we go hunt an old lady's herbs, pissing off the DM and making him throw our first battle at us. Some aliens. After killing them, we immediately try to sell the tech and get arrested. My character, who the town just so happened to discriminate against, had to bail them out, only for the two caged players to end up getting out by crying. They end up searching some mines and get kicked out of the town, likely to make us do the main plot. Only then did we speak to the mayor, and promptly got arrested again before the moment was retconned. That's where the session ended. It was extremely short due to us trying to figure everything out, but it was fun. We're now 9 campaigns in. We do shorter isolated campaigns with different settings and plots every time, due to our weekly 2-hour-ish sessions compared to other schedule types. And still having a blast, even if only me and one other guy from that campaign still play. It's hard to remember because I was 8 years old, but we were prisoners, captured by an army on a march. The rogue managed to pick the locks and get us out. We were seen by a soldier when we were sneaking out of the camp. And I convinced them that we were the chef's helpers getting water for the kitchen. Well, we got away safely, sneaking through a forest without any of our gear. We got to a town controlled by the army that captured us. The guards there questioned us and then took us to the guardhouse one by one for questioning, while leaving the rest outside watched by guards. I picked up a nearby woodcutter's axe, the druid found a pitchfork, and the cleric lit the roof of the guardhouse on fire while the rogue and head guard were in it. We then fought and killed all the guards while the rogue fought the head guard. I beheaded a guard with the woodcutter's axe, which I then carried throughout the campaign as a backup weapon. Ooh, kind of cool. We killed all the guards and an old lady almost died in the fire, but ultimately, we got some supplies and got out of the town as quickly as possible. That definitely got me into D&D. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, tell us in the comments below, what got you into D&D? For me, it was very simple. When I was born in '89, I started very early just loving RPGs like Zelda and Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest, depending on where you're from. And from there, just a match made in heaven. I love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.